Ancient Egypt for kids. Egypt currently exists. It's a country located in the northeastern part of Africa. The Egyptian civilization arose more than 5,000 years ago on the banks of the Nile River and lasted more than 3,000 years. There were originally two kingdoms, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. King Narmer united the two kingdoms, thus becoming the first pharaoh of ancient Egypt and founder of the first dynasty. Ancient Egypt began on the banks of the Nile River around 3100 BC. The Nile is the largest river in Africa and the second largest in the world. It has a length of almost 7,000 kilometers. That means a large amount of water to drink, farm, and keep animals. Egyptian civilization developed there, forming its first cities. Ancient Egypt was almost all desert. The banks of the Nile River were the only fertile lands where they could farm. The waters of the Nile River allowed navigation as roads, thus facilitating the transportation of goods, animals, building supplies, and people. Egyptians worshipped several gods. It is what is known as polytheism. It's a belief in more than one god. Some of these gods had the head of an animal and the body of a person. One of the most important gods was Ra, the god of the sun. But there were many more. Some of them were Osiris, the god of religion and agriculture, Isis, goddess of motherhood, Horus, god of war and hunting, Amun, god of creation, Anubis, god of death and resurrection, and Seth, god of the desert. The pharaohs were the kings of ancient Egypt. They were considered representatives of the gods. One of the best known pharaohs is Tutankhamun, who was pharaoh when he was only 9 years old. Howard Carter discovered his tomb in 1922. The most famous monuments in Egypt are the pyramids. They were funerary temples. That is, they were tombs for the pharaohs. Egyptians believed in life after death. They mummified the bodies of the pharaohs to preserve them in the afterlife. The mummies were placed in decorated sarcophagi, and since they believed in the afterlife, the pharaohs were buried with objects that could be taken with them after death. To build each pyramid, the work of thousands of workers was needed for years. Inside the pyramids, they built tunnels, passageways, and secret chambers. The most famous monuments of Egypt are located in Giza, and they are Menkaure, Khafre, and Cheops, the three primary pyramids, and the Great Sphinx of Giza. Hieroglyphs were the writing system invented by the ancient Egyptians. They consisted in the representation of words through signs and figures. They were a big mystery until Champollion managed to decipher them through the Rosetta Stone in 1822. The ancient Egyptians tamed animals. They kept cats, dogs, and monkeys as pets. Cats were venerated in ancient Egypt. One of the most important goddesses was Bastet, represented in the form of a domestic cat or a cat-headed woman. The ancient Egyptians invented papyrus, a type of paper to write on. They also invented things like the sundial, makeup, cosmetics, and the solar calendar, among many other things. And here it ends. I hope you liked it and learned new things. Until next time, bye for now.